Welcome, my friend, to another episode of Raleigh's Roast, and I'm Raleigh Keegan, your host, and we're here again, but today we've got a special guest, a good friend of mine, the man, the myth, the Crandall, the Spencer Crandall, and we're going to get right into this interview with him. Boom. What's up, Spencer? How are you, bro?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Where are you at right now?
I'm in Nashville. Tennessee. I'm in my apartment, and I'm just kicking it.
You're in your apartment.
Yeah.
So when I think Spencer Crandall, I think lavish mansion.
Lavish mansion. Well, here's a newsflash for you. I live in a very small one-bedroom, one-bath apartment off of Charlotte in Nashville, and it's great for me, but it is pretty much the exact opposite of a mansion.
Huh. Okay, maybe in my head, the Spencer Crandall that I thought I knew.
I'm sorry I can't live up to your expectations.
He's just not as cool as I thought.
Yeah, I did a TikTok yesterday where I Googled myself. Somebody was like, you should Google yourself. So part of it was, it said my net worth. It said my net worth was $89 million. I was like, where is this money coming from? I have zero millions. $0 million.
Man. No, dude, you just won my game show.
That's true. I have $1 million.
You have $1 million now.
Perfect.
Wait, dude, when did we first meet? Was it a right?
Yeah, I think I was familiar with you through socials and stuff. We might have chatted there, and then I think got set up in that right with, what was it, Alex Dooley?
Alex Dooley, and we've written a couple times.
Yep,
the next one was Dean, Deanie Boy. Mm-hmm. And but I was always familiar with you. I knew Ryan Robinette, and I knew you knew him.
Yeah.
So there was a couple guys in that crew that I knew, and I knew you through socials and stuff. But today we're here to talk about the Crandall, the Spencer, the Crandall, Spencer.
Yes.
So, dude, I want to know. I've never asked you this but we've written. But when you write, sometimes you just get down to business. Mm-hmm. Where are you actually from? I'm
from Denver, Colorado. I live there.
Okay, you're from Denver.
Yeah.
And does your family still live there?
Yep, I've got my parents and then older brother, little sister. They're all in Colorado.
Okay, wait. Is anyone else in your family musical?
My little sister is crazy talented. Just kind of recently showed that she can sing and has a killer singing voice, so that's been fun. She plays 4 instruments: violin, piano, guitar, and ukulele or something like that. So she'll definitely be the most famous and the most talented. My little brother, God bless him, just doesn't have a musical bone in his body, but loves music. And my older brother is actually where I get my love of music. And I think he is probably going to go back to school and do something in music. Maybe not singing, but engineering or something like that. So very musical family.
Very jealous of your sister. I play keys and guitar a little bit, but I would love to be able to play the fiddle. I would love that.
Me too.
So hard.
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult. And actually, so musical family story, my great grandfather was a composer and could play all the strings, all the woodwind instruments. And he has an old violin that was sitting in my grandmother's house. And they just got it all tuned up. And now my little sister is playing that violin that my great grandfather played and wrote hundreds, if not thousands, of pieces of music on, which is really cool.
That's really wild. Wait, I was going to ask, what my first musical memory is my dad singing me James Taylor to sleep. What was what's your first memory of music impacted me?
I feel like for me, so I grew up, my family is very adventurous. So we were always on a camping trip, always on some weird vacation. And we were always in our Suburban, just driving across America or in Colorado, up in the mountains or something. And I remember it was summer, we're driving, I think back from Nebraska. We had some friends who had property up there, we went boating and stuff for the weekend. And I kept begging my dad to replay Don't Take the Girl by Tim McGraw. And it just made me so emotional. And I'm 7, and I'm just please play it again. I just feel it in my soul. And I don't know why I've kind of always been that way. The story and the lyric and all that stuff just made me feel so deeply. And my mom's like, "Are you okay? Like, why are you 30 trapped in a 7-year-old body?" But yeah, just probably that, just being surrounded by music, and then just have my parents instill great storytelling in me.
Man, that ties into like, okay, so like people ask me this sometimes, but like, why country music and why not like another music? I know like some of your music blurs some lines. Like you love pop music.
I do,
but like overall, you sort of talked about it there a little bit. But like, why country music?
Yeah, so like for me, storytelling, it just hits the hardest for me, and I think it's the most powerful thing we have as humans. And my man crush of all man crushes is Justin Timberlake. But there's only so much of like tonight, gonna have a great time tonight. Like I just want to be there. I want to see it, and that's where country music, like, you know, Sam Hunt says like, night sand felt good on sunburnt feet, sitting on pool chairs we drug to the beach. I'm just there. Like, yeah, that's such an image, and I feel that, and I can relate to that just a little bit more than like Can't Stop the Feeling. But then I always loved how Can't Stop the Feeling hit more than a lot of the country stuff. Sure. And so I just never felt like it was necessary to compromise or to choose. I felt like, okay, well, why don't I tell a really relatable, image-driven, lyrical story and have it hit and use a bass drop and a banjo and really cool phrasing and 808s and tech hats, but also a steel guitar, because that's just all the stuff I love. And so I kind of put it in the pot, and it out comes me, I guess.
Dude, sometimes like I can like picture you in your mansion just singing Cry Me a River by yourself in the shower. That's
what I do every day. I break into another man's mansion. And
I love that, dude. Okay, well, that's a really good explanation of why someone loves pop country, or why you love pop country. And honestly, I've never heard someone say that in a way that actually makes sense to me, other than it's what's on the radio right now. Like,
yeah, and I get why it's cool, and I get why people like it. For me, I just. Like, I always think of art, right? So like some people are like oil painters, and some people do like spray paint, but I just liked both. And I actually think they go really well together. And I don't think it's as crazy as some people do.
I don't think it's crazy at all. I think it's really cool. Personally, in music, I literally, like, you can tell when someone loves what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Like, and art, there's technically not supposed to be any rules. And I feel like the stuff that moves me the most is just someone expressing themselves however they want, personally. Yeah. But okay, so like how did you like catch the dream? Like, how did you catch the dream? And like, when did you move to Nashville, and what caused that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I grew up in a musical family, people who love music, but I didn't ever think music was for me. Like, I wanted to be a football player. That's what I did. That was like my identity. For my senior project in high school, I learned to play the guitar, and I like wrote a song, and kind of because I thought it'd be funny almost. And then I did that, and then I went to go play college football on a scholarship. And
where'd you play?
Colorado Mesa University. It's a small D2 in Grand Junction.
What'd you play? What position?
I was a nose tackle or DN like 70 pounds ago, a different lifetime.
Dude, I was a tight end in college. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We would have fought each other just like that game.
Where'd you play?
I played at Georgetown College in Kentucky.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, it's an NAIA school. Yeah, right. We had a bunch of D1 dropouts.
Yeah,
I was one of the normal kids. Yeah.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. Some of these kids, like, we're supposed to go to Auburn and got like a DUI or something or whatever, and ended up at our school, and we're just jacked out of their mind, running 4.2s, and I'm like, I'm like not even the best player at my high school.
we had Boston College's running back who got convicted of manslaughter. Okay, got convicted of manslaughter, got kicked off Boston College. He was the freshman all ACC of the year. Then he came to our school. Anyways, you played football in college. I was just trying to connect with you on that really quick.
No, yeah, of course.
How did you get to the dream?
Well, and I think it's a good connecting point because a lot of us have this drive and this passion, and then when that goes away, I had no idea what to do. Like I'd show up to parties and people were like, "So what do you do?" And I used to be like, "I'm a football player." Like that was my identity. And so then I was like, I guess I'm a construction management major. Like I don't know. And I didn't even want to do that. Like my dad is in home building and stuff. And so I was like, I don't know, I'll just do what my dad does. And so yeah, I was in my dorm room. I broke up with my first serious girlfriend, 2 shoulder surgeries later. And I'm just like really having an identity crisis. I get bored. I stop going to class as much. Sorry, mom and dad. And I pick up that guitar from the senior project and I knew 3 chords or whatever. And I got kind of brave and I was like, maybe I'll just throw something up on Instagram back when it was like 15-second covers. And I mean, it literally got 0 likes, you know what I mean? Like, and then I was just like, well, I guess I'll try again. And then people around my school were like, oh dude, you sing? That's really cool. And so I just kind of slowly started posting more. And honestly, every time, even to this day, I just go, hey, thanks for watching, tag 3 friends. And it just felt really natural over the course of a year. I probably got up to like 20,000 followers on Instagram. And then I went to Colorado State just to go to a different school, be closer to home and hang out with some of my other buddies. And over the course of the next 2 years, I was like at 100,000 followers. And through that, had some opportunities in Nashville where, you know, people were starting to connect with me on socials and they're like, are you in town? I'm like, what's in town? Like, what does that mean? And they're like, well, you got to be in town. I'm like, what town are you talking about? Like Nashville. So I'm like, okay. My manager, who I've been with since like 2014, him and I had just kind of always been, you know, barely doing stuff because there wasn't a ton to do. I played a couple shows, you know, around my college. Like I pulled up my truck and we played like an acoustic tailgate out of my car, but like I had no show experience. But I was like, dude, I think we just need to take a trip and just meet some people and like hang. And so I came out to Nashville. And the first person I met out here is a guy named Tyler Rich, who's with Big Machine. Yeah. And he recognized me from Instagram. He's like, hey, you're the guy who sings on Instagram. I was like, yeah. He's like, you don't suck. I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, yeah, man, you really got to move here. And so over the course of from January 2016 to August, I started kind of taking trips once a month. And I would just meet somebody new. I'd take a meeting. I'd write a couple songs. And through that, I got to open up for Tyler because I lied to him. I told him I was going to be in California when he was playing a show. I was like, dude, I'm already going to be out there. And he's like, great, well, if you want to open up for free. And I was like, sure. And so I bought plane tickets. And then he introduced me to a guy named Chris Lane. And I did the same thing. I was like, oh, dude, like, I see you're playing in Colorado. I'm actually already going to be out there that weekend. I've got a social presence I could bring, you know, I'll just be like an acoustic opener, do a 20-minute set, bring some people. He's like, sure. So it went me, Morgan, Wallen, and then Chris. And Chris invited me on the rest of that tour right as I was moving to Nashville. So it just kind of all worked out. I got crazy lucky. That's definitely not a normal story. And I don't know. I got really lucky, I think, by leaning into social media and building a fan base there. And I think it was a viable option for people to add me on shows or take meetings and all that stuff. So I knew it was the dream, I guess, to have a way longer answer to a very short question. Probably around like when I took a trip out here, I was like, okay, like I think I can do this for real. Like not just a hobby, not just in my dorm, but like I think I want to play a football stadium. Yeah. And I just like decided. And then once I decide on stuff, I'm a little obsessive about things.
Same.
And so since then, I've just been going hard at it for, you know, almost 4 years. It was crazy.
We're the same person.
Yep, I know.
Well, okay. So you moved. How long you been in town? In town, for those of you at home, you just learned. It means in Nashville.
If you ever hear country people, how long you been in town? Oh yeah, I've been in town for it is Nashville. I moved in August 2000. I moved in August 2016, so I'm coming up on 4 years. I'm like 3.5.
Awesome. Okay. So you've given some highlights. I want to know this. What's been the hardest part of pursuing a career and this dream in music?
For me, And like, I don't even like to say this because for some reason, it almost makes me feel like weak or embarrassed, but I'll say it because I think it's valuable. I feel like it's isolating. I think it's a lonely road. It's a little bit more lonely than I thought it was going to be. I thought there was going to be way more people like, dude, you're killing it. Let's hang out. Like, that's just not how it works. Everybody's so busy. And I didn't do a great job last year of staying connected as much as I should. I was on the road a little bit, and I had a serious girlfriend at the time. So we had kind of like paired off. And after that relationship had ended and it was like the end of the year and we were done with shows, I had a couple months left back in town. I was like, oh, I don't have as many friends as I thought I did.
Bro, I say that same thing all the time. I say things like, man, I feel like, and this does sound pathetic, but I feel like I don't have any friends. Sometimes you feel that way.
100%. And it's this weird, like, I know everyone in town, but I don't like know them, which sounds weird, but I wish like some of my relationships were deeper. So before the quarantine, I was doing a really great job at like really connecting with people and just, I think, again, long answer to a short question, community to me, because I grew up in a high school where I had a group of 20 friends, I had 3 siblings, I'm super close to my parents. I was like never alone, and I was never 2 minutes away from somebody's house or a barbecue or a hangout. But now with what I do, it's just very isolating. And, even before and after a show, like you're getting ready and you're doing your own thing. And then afterwards, like you're showering and you're going to bed so you can get on the road the next day or whatever that looks like. It's a little bit more lonely than I thought it was going to be. But it's also has so many amazing, rewarding things. I think it's just part of the price of admission.
Yeah, man. The things we do for the song,
Yeah.
We do some crazy stuff for a song. So like a lot of your song, that was going to ask you, you kind of alluded to it, but I don't know the current status. So I'm going to ask.
Sure.
Because a lot of people are going to want to know. A lot of your songs are about like love, relationships, or like heartbreak also. Do you have a female friend that you haven't told me about yet?
No, man. I'm single as a Pringle.
All right. Yeah, dude. The last time we like wrote was the very first time we wrote
Correct.
a heartbreak song.
Yeah.
And I think it was about maybe this girl you just talked about that you had dated last year, maybe.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. Well, now it's like it's been some time. I didn't know if you're dating someone new.
No, that's a great question.
You've been working on new music. There's this new song out as of today called "Summer Us."
Yeah.
And it's
about love.
Like it's a love song.
No, it's fair to assume. I don't know. After that one, I've taken some time to actually like really get to know myself again. It was a nice 8 months, really more like a year of like being with the same human. And after something like that, I personally am not very quick to jump into anything else. So I'm chilling. I think for the first time, even like in the last couple of weeks, I've been like, you know what? I think I'm ready to like try that out again. So I'm excited. I mean, obviously could not be a worse time to date is right now while the world is literally, so not a great time, but sometime this summer, like I am open to that again. I think you can relate to this. Like there's so much to do all the time. And so I can convince myself very quickly, like, I don't need a girlfriend. I don't need, more friends. I just need to focus. I need to get more work done. And so I battle with that for sure. But I know in my heart, like I do want somebody in my life. I just need to like actually try and put in some effort.
Yeah, dude, I'm going to make you a Christian Mingle account.
Dude, so you can... farmers only, man. Come on.
Oh man. Okay. Here's a good question that I get all the time, and I would love to know your answer. I've got a couple more for you, but advice. I bet you get this DM often, but like advice to young singer-songwriters, like who are trying to make it. Like, what advice would you give them? And what would you want to know? What would you want to know then that you know now when you first started? So
sure.
That's two-parter.
Yeah. When people ask me, I always want context because if you want to be a better songwriter in your hometown, like some people really do just want to do that. Just want to do it for fun and like write songs and express themselves. That's awesome. And then there's like, you want to be the next Shane McAnally. Like you want to have big hit country commercial radio singles, or you want to play a stadium like Taylor Swift. Like those are very different dreams. So I think you got to start there. You got to have some self-awareness to know like how good you are and what you're good at. So kind of knowing your like what you want and what you think is realistic, I think is important to start with. If all those things you feel like match up and you're like, you know what, I think I'm pretty good, or I could be pretty good, and I want to be a really big artist. I think there's a couple things you can do. And one, if anybody's listening to this, actually like DM us. Like I like to, or at least me, I like to answer that question personally. And because nobody helps me at the beginning. So shoot me a DM and I try to do as much as
DM me. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You can DM me too.
Yeah. And, with more context, I can get more into it, but let's assume like my dream is to play Mile High Stadium in Colorado. So that's, 50,000 people. I grew up, I saw Kenny Chesney, I saw Tim McGraw, Eric Church, all these people play it. And I was like, yeah, that's the dream. So in order to do that, I have to have a massive fan base and people who know my songs. In order to do that, you need, at least for right now, you need a record label. You need your songs on the radio, at least in country. 60 million country listeners a day is a pretty big deal. So you need that. In order to do that, you need a record deal, a record label. In order to do that is kind of the stage that I think you and I are at. And that is building a catalog of songs that is uniquely you, that isn't the Diet Coke version of anybody else, that is a sound that is both unique yet commercial enough to fit in the radio and not stick out like a sore thumb and be like, that is just the Eagles, or that's Billie Eilish, or like something random. So it needs to fit in the country box yet be different enough to not just be the Diet Coke version of somebody else. So that's part of finding who you are as an artist. Then I think a lot of people are asking like how to get started, because I think that's the hardest part, right? Like, okay, you see that huge vision, you backtrack it to where you are now, and you're like, I will never get there. And it's intimidating. I would say the way I look at it is like, how can you do something every single day to build that career? So like if I want, Taylor Swift said this really early on. She's like, I want 1 million fans. I have to talk to 1 million people. So I think the best place, and we're so lucky we're growing up in this age and doing music in this age. We have the internet. So something like TikTok, you can post a video, have 0 followers and get 1 million views tomorrow. On Instagram, I think building a brand and a presence, like posting stuff that you're proud of at a high volume and just really trying to connect with people. The thing that I think the reason I have anything in this career or this field or whatever is because I really sat down and I answered DMs, and I actually went out of my way and I was really proactive. And so I would sit down and message 500 people a day and just say, hey,
Same.
I'm a country music artist. If you like Kane Brown, you might like my newest single. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Because out of 500 people a day, maybe 50 people hit you back. Maybe 25 of those people are real fans. 25 times 365. I mean, that's
a lot.
That's a lot of people over the course of a year. And then if you have the patience to put in 10 years and assuming that these numbers are exponential and all those things, like it actually doesn't feel as crazy. So I try to break it down like that and explain to people like, today, make 10 to 100 new fans, if however that looks like. Really connect with those people while also working on your art and your craft and writing the next best song and figuring out what makes you you and not somebody else, and why a record label, because this is what these people are doing, are basically saying, I'm going to spend the next 5 years, put my mortgage and my kids' future on the line because I believe you're that talented. You have to prove to them that. You have to become that undeniable. And so taking a step every single day in that direction, whether that's, you know what, I think I wear this kind of clothing. That's a great step. Like figuring out your branding, how you look. You know what, I think my songs aren't going to have this in it, but I can only know because I failed because I tried doing a song with it. Great. That's a great next step. So just breaking it down day by day, trying to do it that way.
So good. There's goal. if there's anyone listening to this, you need to listen. That was like gold. That was very good information. I did a lot of what Spencer did there as well. I used to get in trouble with my family because I would be on my phone from the moment. I'm obsessive just like you. Like from the moment I would wake up, even like while I was working out, I would be DMing people because I was so desperate to get my music out to people. Like I didn't have another way. At the time, it was like, I'm literally, what can I do? What can I do to separate myself? Well, I can be personable and like try harder than anybody else.
Yep.
You know, and I think like over time, you're exactly right. It becomes crazy if you do it but you know, it's not crazy over a 5-10 year period when you look back and you have gained exponential growth over that time because let's say out of you message of 500 people a day and even 5 of those people become legit fans. The people who I'm legitimate fans of, I tell all my friends.
100%. Have you ever heard that Lady Gaga thing? She basically talks about the 80-20 rule. Like you're going to make 80% of your concert tickets, merch, streams, all that stuff from your top 20% of your fan base. And it's so true. Like the real diehard super fan is the most valuable thing. People who come in and out, yeah, that's great. If you can build, like you said, 5 to 10 of those people a day, that's all you need. You don't need 1 billion fans. You need 10,000 super fans. And fan is always kind of a cringy word. You need 10,000 people who actually love you, believe you, support you, and are plugged into and are invested in what you're doing. And the way to do that, and I think if I could go back and tell myself anything, is find a way to add real value into people's lives. Not to just like become more famous or to have something go viral. Find a way to actually make somebody's life a little bit better. Those people will stick around. Those people will tell all their friends, and those people will show up to a show because you've given them something. And just like you, I just like you as a human. So if you're like, hey man, I'm doing a showcase in town. If I don't go to that, I'd feel guilty because I actually like you and I actually believe in you. That's what you have to create with your fans and with the people who follow your line.
Yeah, man, that's super good. And I feel like that's a good. I'm gonna ask you what's next, but before I do, we're close, but I want to ask you quarantine questions, quick quarantine questions, and then I want to know what you're doing next in your life. What's been your binge food during this quarantine?
Binge food. Dude, I'm trying so hard to eat healthy right now.
It's impossible.
I went after that Christmas break. I was like, oh no, like I fell off. So I'm back on my game, but it's honestly like ground turkey and almonds. It's so boring.
Deal. Super boring, but effective.
Effective, for sure.
What's been your binge show during quarantine?
Have you seen the show Dave?
No. Tell me about it.
It's Lil Dicky's show. It's on Hulu. Bro, it is the funniest, most well done show I've seen in a very long time. And then there's another weird, this is probably too niche for a lot of people. It's like long form improv comedy specials with Thomas Middleditch and Ben Schwartz called Middleditch and Schwartz. And I love those. I ate those up in like one day. There's 3 of them. It's awesome.
Have you seen Ozark or anything like that?
I watched the first 2 seasons. Yeah.
The third season
I know there's another one.
Oh, the third season is Flames.
Okay, cool. I'm on it. That's my next.
If you had to be quarantined with one artist besides me, of course, who would you choose?
Besides you. You know who I'd do is John Bellion, because I feel like we could walk out of there with a full album. The dude could just produce for days.
His song, the song about the heart, my gosh, it's my favorite one of his songs.
Good Things Fall Apart, Guillotine, All Time Low, Overwhelming.
I'm literally, this is gonna piss me off if I don't look it up. He did an acoustic version where there's like a choir and strings. Stupid Deep, bro. Come on with that song. I love that song.
That's the kind of songwriting, like it actually gave me the emotion rage because I was so mad that I hadn't thought of these things. I'm like, oh, that's so perfectly said.
So frustratingly good.
Stupid Deep.
All right, what's been the worst part of your quarantine and what's been the best?
I live alone, so that isn't fun. Luckily, I have quarantined from the get with my producer. His name's Lalo, so got a ton of work done, which has been awesome. So that's the best parts. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm coming back to my apartment, and usually I'd go hang out with friends or whatever. So I'm definitely I'm on my TikTok game. I'm making a ton of TikTok board, man.
Dude, if you ever need someone to talk to while you eat your almonds and your turkey, just let me know. Honestly, I'll make time for you.
Perfect.
Well, dude, okay, before we go, tell us what's next. You got anything up on the horizon, like anything you're planning?
Yeah, so we put out a single a week ago called Summer Us, which has been fun, and it's doing well, so thank you guys for listening. We have another song coming, and the tough part is I have a lot that I'm very, very, very excited about. I've never been more excited about music, but there's not a ton that I want to share yet because I don't want to spoil it. But I would love to put out into the world that like there's a lot more music coming. We are so excited. The way we're going to release it, the songs, just some of the art and the video stuff that we're talking about doing. I'm so excited. So hopefully you guys can just be a little bit more patient because we're busting our butts getting it done. And then it'll be here before everybody knows it. But I have a ton of new stuff coming this year, and I'm really excited about it.
Dope. Well, man, thank you for doing this. You're the man. Enjoy your time in your mansion. And until next time, dude, let's write soon, and good luck on everything, man.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you so much. Thanks for having me.
All right, brother. See ya.
Peace.